DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, and MSI.
Welcome back to the DreamHack Masters Winter. We've had a little bit of an extended break, but I know you guys did not go anywhere, because coming up next we have got Team Liquid versus mousesports, and these two teams look like they could be on fire today. This is going to be the first brawl of the tournament, and I know you're going to love to see it. But let's set the scene first of all by taking a look at the Group B bracket. Here we go. Connor, lean in, take a look, and tell me who you're most looking forward to from these matchups.
Well, I mean, not to kind of preemptively get ahead of ourselves, but Liquid Mouse, I mean, two teams that just got to the final stage of the showdown, two teams, or rather one of them, that actually went on within that event itself. So these are teams that are actually competing at this level and performing well. Mouse look good. Frozen just right up there alongside Robs. Star players for mousesports starting to come together, and Liquid, the most successful North American team other than Furia, who happen to be in this bracket. And I think Furia are going to make mincemeat of North, the same way I think G2 are going to dismantle Namiga. And that kind of primes us for some really good upper bracket rounds. It's when we get to the lower side of things that I'm not sure what's going to go down.
Me neither, but I do know that over on the B stream with Vince and Tom Biz, they are going to be casting that Godsent Astralis game. So if you're interested in checking out that one, open a new tab, twitch.tv/DreamHackCS2. But obviously, stick with us, otherwise I'll be very upset with you, okay? So, our first match that is coming up is Team Liquid versus Mouse. And Liquid, they've had a bit of a flashy move. They've relocated to the Netherlands. I'm quite jealous of them, to be perfectly honest, because I love a little bit of Holland in my life. And they've got this flashy setup. They're all playing essentially on a boot camp. And that style that they have seems to have translated to Europe like seamlessly, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, they say they're in the Netherlands. I'm pretty sure they're playing from outer space. This new facility they're working with has to be awesome for them. They've got everybody on site. They've got Moses over there, and they're finding success already. So Team Liquid coming to Europe, I think, is a mandatory... It's a mandatory test for them, because they brought Grim in, and that was a key piece to them rising a little bit in North America, pretty much taking over for a little while, but also experiencing struggles, right? Some of these upcoming NA teams are throwing curveballs, and Liquid, before they started to get upset too many times, just got on an airplane and flew to this other place so that they couldn't lose to Triumph or anybody else again.
Well, hopefully, if you're a Team Liquid fan, or maybe you're on the fence, Connor has just convinced you, because I do want to know what you guys are thinking at home. So we, of course, are asking you guys to vote in Twitch. Who you think is going to win this one? Is it going to be Liquid, or is it going to be mousesports? And we haven't made it easy for you with the hashtag for mousesports. Do check that spelling, because when I first came into esports, I definitely mispronounced that. I thought it was mouse esports, because I was already a boomer when I began in esports. Launder's just judging me there. Should we read much into the fact that Liquid did lose to Furia yesterday? And it seemed to be kind of a blowout, really, after the first map.
That is a great question. I mean, because Furia are the special exemption where they know Liquid better than they know themselves almost, they could figure out Liquid CT sides, but that doesn't mean Mouse will, even though they were able to take down Cloud9, which I would consider an upset. So Mouse's form looks amazing. Are they going to be able to stand the test? I feel like Kerrigan has shown that he knows what to do to make plays for the teams. for his team, and he did this versus Cloud9 with not much data, okay? BlameF couldn't say the same thing. We look at that complexity Cloud9 match, and BlameF really got outcalled by Alex every step of the way, but Kerrigan didn't. And I think that's what's really interesting coming into this match. Will Kerrigan, without having any experience versus Liquid, be able to figure out their CT sides?
Bringing it back to Liquid, there was an interview that NAF did with HLTV, and I found it quite illuminating, particularly as they were talking about trying to find Grim a comfort zone. And I was like, well, he kind of looked comfortable to me from the off. You can just wind him up and watch him go. So
yes.
Is it more about finding him a place in the team that works for everyone else on the team?
I mean, they're doing, again, it's half of the game. They're amazing. Again, besides their match versus Furia, their CT sides had some absolutely absurd statistics. They had a 60% 4v5 win conversion rate. That's like double what Astralis had in their prime. Smaller sample size from these last few matches, but all from their matches over in Europe. Very, very impressive stuff. On the CT side, they look great. In fact, they make great rotations. There's cohesion there. It's all the same stuff you'd expect to see over on T side. But on T side, that's not, it just doesn't click the same way. That's the real question mark. So I think that's what it's really all about. Grim is the best player on the team right now. He's been consistently the top fragging player and has definitely got the most kills in Europe of anyone on the roster.
I just don't understand, though, why that is the case for their T-sides, because this is a team that's known for its firepower. It's got a lead, for God's sake.
Yeah, it does, but I think it also has Stewie 2K. And I respect Stewie 2K enormously. I think he has accomplished and taken upon challenges that nobody else in NA can really can tout. So, but it's about a comfort. There's callings, there's issues. I remember watching some of these T-sides when their CT sides were impenetrable was when their offense was struggling. And I think it boiled down at first to, I'd say, like uncertainty. You'd see them find hooks in one bomb site only to leave and attack the other side of the map. You'd see them get to the cusp of a site to then stop and wait just enough time for their opponents to throw something at them. It looked uncomfortable, but I can also kind of maybe chalk that up to them just arriving in Europe, not having time in the first couple of days to piece something together. And versus Furia beat their CT side. Those statistics Mohan talked about, the 60-somewhat% rate, win percent rate on the 4v5s, they also had like 85% win rates in the 5v4s. If they got a kill, they won the round. It was as simple as that. But it's in the offensive halves versus Furia where I thought we saw some improvements. And that made me think, well, God, now they're the whole package. But then they stuttered because of Furia's offense. So there's something going on with Liquid, and I think it's just in the right direction.
Well, maybe we'll find out what's going on with Liquid now, because we spoke to Stewie 2K.
Mousesports might be struggling a little bit right now, but I feel like we're struggling as well. I guess we're in the same boat, and we just got to Europe as well. And, you know, our progression is kind of slow, but, you know, it's something we got to work on.
Avocado. That's a bit far. Stewie 2K, mowing. And Grim cleans it up. And yes, that's right. Double mayonnaise on the sandwich.
Your expectations are always there to win, but, you know, there's going to be a certain time where you have to pull yourself back. I think Liquid would do some damage in DreamHack Masters Winter. We're not going to go in there and just bomb out of the tournament, I hope, but, you know, we're here to win some games and hopefully make it to the playoffs, and we're going to take it step by step.
Stewie 2K there, he is a player who, when he was feeling up in the past, he was absolutely unstoppable. He'd go like the clappers. When he was down, he couldn't really get anything done. And the interesting thing with him is he knows he's better at calling when they are doing well. So maybe if they fall behind today, he's going to struggle to bring it back. However, he has got Coach Lil Momo now. And Coach Lil Momo is there to really keep that team in check. So let's move over to mousesports now, because they also have a new coach. It's Mither, and this is a man who's come in to kind of work with Kerrigan on things like pistol rounds, maybe some execute ideas, but he's also motivational. He's there to discipline the team as well. Do you think he's settled in well so far, Launders?
So far, so good. I think we referenced to his interview, and he said mousesports are struggling right now. I don't think that's the case at all. Like the last two matches we watched, mousesports looked like the strongest team and won their matches. So those are two things that are great. There's some inconsistency among the individuals as a whole this year, maybe. But in terms of recency, which is far more important than your overall statistics in a year, they all are showing up. Kerrigan, his first bullet accuracy looks really high. You were mentioning that Frozen probably has an absurd HSP lately. Rops is literally one of the best riflers in the game at the moment. And Chris J, he's had an off map or two, but in his off maps, they still were able to win. And B-Mass, we started calling him 3-Mass just because he was getting all these 3K spray downs. and he's just playing his role way better than it was on FaZe. Everything is working really well right now for mousesports. It's about if they're going to be inconsistent, not that they were, because they weren't.
How do you feel BMAS is doing now? Because a month ago, Kerrigan said in an interview, BMAS is an absolute monster on Nuke. Inferno, though, he's got a little bit of work to do. But that was a while ago.
But yeah, yesterday he was really great on Inferno, actually. So that's something that's developed. And he mentioned something. He said, as soon as I leave FaZe, watch me. I'm no longer playing something roles, right? He said, I'm going to be playing with way more freedom and way more comfort. And he proved that. As soon as he left FaZe, went to mousesports, under the leadership of Kerrigan, maybe with the help of Myther, maybe with the experience of Chris J, he has found a lot of comfort, and the stats are showing it.
This is something I've been wondering about. Is Rops wasted on a hard lurk rather than playing with the pack? Because this is a man who can just clean up like that. He's got the smartest brain in the game. He could be an in-game leader in the future.
So here's my theory for that. So basically, without getting too technical, they 4-1 a lot. And the problem is, in the past, is that Kerrigan and Chris J were both bottom fraggers. They'd never get kills. So sometimes they couldn't trade out effectively to leave Rops in a position where he'd have a clutchable round. He is playing his role to absolute perfection, but the way that they're using him specifically doesn't set him up if they don't get the entries, and sometimes they don't. That's starting to change now, and that's why they're starting to win. But just like you're saying, Rops cannot take over the game in his role without them contributing on the other side of the map. But that is the game plan. That's what they want. And the other thing is that you can't turn Rops into your first man in. He's too slow. He takes too much time to clear out angles. He's too meticulous. And so it makes sense that he is in the role that he's in. But with 4 other players, you got to frag more.
20 years old and acting like an old man. I can't get enough of Rops, so I'm really, really happy to say we had a word with him.
Facing an NA team is something refreshing for sure. It's been the EU show for us only, just playing EU teams for us, and we haven't played a team from another continent for like almost a year now.
Gonna have to be a pretty gnarly flash to set up Rops, but actually there's one. Searson, missed shot. Now that bomb dropped. It's all left onto Tabson. TT and hiding on the elevator is Rops.
We haven't prepared anything specifically for Team Liquid. We've been having more of a general practice, just getting our basics down and having no mistakes in our general playstyle. We've been going very hard at it, and I would say expectations is that we really want to win, and I hope we win.
I have to say, I think Rops is the player that intimidates me the most when I'm talking to him because he's so flipping clever. I think he's still only 20 years old. I know we talk about age a lot when we're talking about Counter-Strike, but it is extraordinary, the game sense that Rops has, and to be honest, has had since his rookie year, Launders.
That's why everyone thought he cheated. He plays with so much maturity. Like, it's unbelievable when you watch him play. He plays like he is his own coach. Like, it's as if someone's watching over him at all times. Like, hey, don't make this mistake. Don't make this mistake. He never makes mistakes. The only folly, as you brought up and alluded to, is that he sometimes cannot have enough impact because of how careful he is. But he doesn't make mistakes, and that's why he's so hard to criticize.
And that is why he is one of the players on our Epics cards head-to-head. We had to pick 2 players to watch, so Rops is one of them. The other one we had to pick from Team Liquid, and it's going to be Grim.
Grimothy.
That's right, the Grim Reaper. This guy is North America's success story when it comes to the COVID-19 times. He was picked up to perform in an online environment. He has floated around kind of the lower tier of NACS for more than a couple of years before getting this shot with Liquid, and he had huge shoes to fill replacing Nitro. Now, he didn't replace Nitro in any kind of a sense in terms of leadership, but just the fragging, and he did that. Then he comes over to Europe, finally, right? We get to unleash our beast that is this fresh Liquid, and yes, we're still playing in the online role, so I don't think he's really that uncomfortable at all. I think it's about now sitting next to his teammates and being able to find his groove, and we've heard from him speak about how Moses is actually having a very hands-on approach with him in helping him find his confidence, find his game plan, find his rhythm and his routine. Grim is a guy who deathmatches a lot. He's somebody who wants to spend as much time in the server as he can to be as crisp as he can prior to that first round going live. I think it's one of the reasons he has insane pistol stats, actually, because by the time that first round starts, Grim's been sitting in the server longer than anybody else.
He's been in the microwave for 3 minutes. He's warmed up.
Oh my god, even if I was a pro player, I'd still feel like life's too short. All right, let's take a look at the map vetoes now. I'm trying to find my notes because I'm like, what are we expecting? Obviously not train, not overpass, which is a shame for Liquid, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know where Liquid will want to take this, actually. It's an interesting question. We've seen their veto change a little bit. Actually, I think Liquid picked into Overpass versus Furia yesterday. That was something new. They had never played against each other before on Overpass in their best of threes, so that's something that is still potentially up to question, but this is something where I feel like they've got other more probable maps in common. So Nuke is still on the cards, Dust 2 is on the cards, and I think also Vertigo is something where mousesports ended up on as an off pick.
I think we're going to see Vertigo and Nuke potentially, unless these teams are out to pick each other, but I really don't think they will, because it's still kind of early days for Mouse in terms of the roles that they're now kind of settling into, and with Liquid they're still adjusting. So I would be very surprised if they try to do something different with the veto today. I don't know about you, Connor.
I want to see Vertigo and Nuke. I think Liquid might have their hands full with it, but I see this ban coming out of Liquid for Train. I think that makes sense. We just saw mousesports let that one slip through, and you know, they were victorious versus Heroic, and that was massive. You know, the series win from mousesports over Heroic, I think that paints a very dire tale for both Nuke and potentially Train. So Train's gone, Inferno, Dust 2. Mirage, Nuke, Vertigo's the decider.
Okay.
I want that decider match.
Yeah, that could be good. Yeah, Dust 2 is not going to be free for Liquid, but it is a strong map for them. And the CT, they actually showed that they could play both halves, I think, pretty well. It was one of the few maps.
They did, didn't they beat MIBR 6-2
Yes.
on Dust 2 the other day?
Yeah.
We didn't get to see their T side.
Yeah, they were just a wall.
That's
like,
exactly it.
They were actually unbelievable in that perspective. I'm sure Mouse will put up more of a threat to them. I think that they are very fallible on Inferno. So this is a great veto for Kerrigan, because on Inferno, they have a lot of trouble holding B. Grim and Stewie, they take turns dying over in the B site and sometimes can't hold. There were rounds where one of them would get 2 kills, but never rounds where they'd stay alive, get map control. And they need to be quicker to the jump when it comes to re-aggressing for map control, because the way that Inferno is going right now, it's becoming more and more T-sided at the top level every day. And if you are not coming back and getting map control at every point in the round, you will always lose on your CT side.
So really quickly before we do predictions, if you are Stewie and Grim, are you contesting Banana, or you holding back?
Yeah, you're trying to find different timings to contest Banana.
Okay, cool. Let's go to your predictions then, gentlemen. I will come to Big Momo first.
I will go mousesports 2-1.
Okay.
It's a tough one. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to say Liquid.
I don't like it, because I don't need to work out what the hell to predict. I'm going to say mousesports, because I think you're absolutely right in terms of the veto and what Kerrigan's doing there. I definitely think that mousesports are going to take their own map pick at least. I would not be surprised if it goes to Vertigo. If it does go to Vertigo, I actually think that Liquid will take it, but maybe this is going to be a 2-0, so I am going to say mousesports for this one. Twitch chat, do your thing. Here we go.
Oof.
I like this because that is literally how I feel right now. I am 49% Team Liquid. I am 51% mousesports. But I am 100% into this series. Don't go anywhere, because these guys are going to be on fire as it's mousesports versus Team Liquid after the break.
Liquid coming in hot versus mousesports, the team that's looked even better than them. This is, I would say, two teams taking back form. You know, there was a little while where we questioned Kerrigan, we questioned Chris J, and because of that, by extension, some of the stars of mousesports didn't quite look as good as we knew they could. And, well, now suddenly, things are looking better. So, Team Liquid, yes, they have had some rather flawless CT halves, but the overall package, is it enough to best mousesports?
It's a good question. Again, I mirror your sentiment here. I have high hopes for mousesports, but I also have high hopes for Liquid. I think it should be close games. I think just Kerrigan has really just impressed so much with both his individual form, but also his calling. And his ability to beat Cloud9 yesterday has won me over. If not for that match, I probably would have picked Liquid here. But we'll see. It starts on Inferno. And again, another strong veto here for mousesports.
BMAS trying to take somebody off at this B site. Here it is. Stewie, 2K, and Grim. Players who take turns dying. And that's exactly what they do before they can find any sort of success on this B site. Naf, well, the bomb's planted right in front of him. And he's got a Liege to work with. CZ with the armor. A Liege supposed to be the heaviest hitter here. Problem being, it's only 24 bullets. He's going to have to be pretty accurate. So that first one's rather fast. Twist on Banana gets deleted by Chris J. Now suddenly they're trying to fight out from construction. BMAS with 2 headshots to close, 3 frags in the pistol. What is it he said when he left FaZe? Watch me.
Watch me. Yeah, watch me. Yeah, he's definitely improving. And he's improving on Inferno, as was referenced by Frankie on the desk. He's shown real amazing rounds so far in most of the pistols that we've seen. And it feels like, yeah, he's only going to get better. I mean, you can't doubt his aim, you can't doubt his spray control, and you can't doubt his entry fragging. It's kind of everything else. How he plays on CT positions, where he sometimes would make mistakes, how much confidence he plays with when it comes to taking liberties and moving around. But it feels like he's learning, he's developing, he's growing, and he's becoming smarter and more confident.
Triple smoke grenade for Team Liquid. Armored pistol players. I feel like one of the things that I haven't seen from Liquid yet is real big success in rounds like this. Am I crazy?
On the, I mean,
on their force buys.
They got ecoed a lot.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's
But
the
yeah,
other direction, man. I haven't seen them kind of, you know, with that wild X factor.
Sure, yeah.
These sorts of rounds. It's like either they're winning the gun rounds, they're locking down everything on CT. But
I think they just don't bring a lot of ideas to the eco rounds. I think you're onto something. Like even here, we kind of have a default stack. However, Grim gets an opening kill. That's something nice. Okay, as soon as we talk about it,
yep,
there
looks
they go.
likely.
Naf and Grim, couple of kills.
Molotov at the feet of Stewie. And he's sitting inside of that smoke. Chris J is going to reload the MAC-10. He's got a teammate behind him in dark corner. Chris J literally sitting next to Stewie.
My God, is he on the coffin?
Hey
Wow.
there, neighbor. And, well, continuation spray down, not good for a second. It's a Legion Naf back in with kills. Frozen goes down to Twist with the Deagle. 1 HP on a Liege, 10 for Naf, 49 on Twist. I'll eat my words and enjoy it.
Well, I think the point still stands. They didn't do anything all that interesting, right? They just have Grim boosted up on oranges. They had 2 players on B. They just got the opening kill. That was an amazing last 1D kill. Imagine if he doesn't get that kill. There's still 2 players coming out of construction who are on 1 HP or just within 1 hit of dying. So there was definitely a really great chance that mousesports still brought that back. And but of course, like you're saying, they have the X factor in terms of this crazy ability to have such even strength in terms of aim.
Molotov's going back and forth. Liege peeks into Boiler, falls back ever so slightly. Robs is going to be consistently contesting Boiler Room. It's what this man does. But it's actually Chris J to pick up the kill here. Headshot onto short. This is going to leave Team Liquid split 2-2. And an M4 for you.
Well,
Twists looking to get aggressive here. They threw that flash up. It's Stewie again inside of the smoke. Twist, he just came off of the short side with a kill. Naf's also got another. BMAS and Chris J in the 2 versus 4. And BMAS has now made it even. He is off to a flying start thus far on Inferno. We are only 3 rounds deep, but he has 5 kills already to his name. Frag grenade thrown towards the library. Tons of utility here for Liquid once they start piecing together the retake. So a Molotov over on the graveyard and another one close sight. Chris J is going to give away his position with the trajectory, but BMAS, he's the player with a kill. Another 3K, and how about a 4th? mousesports force buying back to their success.
God damn, BMAS looking very comfortable. That's a pretty amazing round from him. And this is a round where they weaponize the AK. They put Chris up front. He goes for an opening. And then BMAS comes back to trade, as you mentioned, bringing it back to even with these 2 frags. and then a third, and then a fourth. Really sick stuff here. Wow, it was actually just a clean one tap on a Stewie to end it. And so, Liquid, they eco mousesports, but get ecoed back, and in the economic game of chicken, it's going to be more costly to the CT side. Especially just giving up these rounds. And they're always incentivized to try to force back and win, because there's so much on the line, right? If they win, and they win the following conversion, they get 2 rounds for free, potentially. So we're not surprised to see it, but their actual odds of winning this round, of course, are quite slim.
Smoke soon to fade. Chris J versus Twists. Trajectory of the grenades comes over the top. Oh, Chris J flying by. It is only Elige to deliver a kill here. That Desert Eagle headshot, all that Liquid have to work off of.
And this is just such a hot start now, right? Because they win the 2 in a row. Liquid forced down. Stewie saves a gun. This will be the only thing they'll be able to buy for the next couple of rounds. And it's already 3-1 here for mousesports. I did not know that you heard a radio there.
Yeah, man.
I actually didn't. How did I not? How did I not know
transmission.
that? My goodness. Thought my brain was on the fritz. Okay.
Oh no, the voices, they're back.
Yeah, so Stewie does want to hold on to these. They're, again, they might try to invest a little bit, but they just got to think about their economy at this point. Already a great start here versus the CT side of Liquid. Very fallible on Inferno. Lots to work on. Tough map. Always like to bring up that the interview from that player on Virtus Pro who is named Jakinder, who said that this is a map that's incredibly hard to prepare for. He said it was the hardest map in the pool to prepare for. And that's why he wanted to pick it versus, I think it was, which team was it? It was an NA team. It was versus Cloud9 in their inaugural match with the new roster. So any ingenuity here from Team Liquid. Down 3-1 in the rounds, and we've got the full kit on Stewie. He'll go for the Molotov down and immediately get stripped of his armor, the rest of his nades. He had a smoke and 2 flashes. And also the MP9.
They did sneak Elige into the apartments. That's something to work with. I would say that versus Furio, when Team Liquid finally started to get some CT-sided success, it was because Elige was able to get into the apartments. That's something that I think out of the gate they don't necessarily prioritize, but do shift towards when they're trying to rob rounds back. It's not always risky business down banana. Sometimes you mess around with the alt mid. Naf has 1 kill on this round. Looking for a second. mousesports doing a good job of just countering him out. Smoke grenade denies the vision. They're going to go ahead and plant on this B site. And even if he tries to save towards A, there are players in this direction. So yes, the Force Wars, the great Force Wars of 2020, did not work out well for Team Liquid at the start of this one. So much cash already here on the back of mousesports. This is huge. Chris J could... I'm curious to see if he goes for an op.
Oh, look at the sweaty angle.
Stab him.
Naf. Oh, Naf was almost just as sweaty to clear it out. Chris will hold on to this cutoff. Mid, alt, the balcony, everything. mousesports up 4-1. We were waiting for this moment, but look at this. Even after having to save 2 rounds in a row, we've got Liquid, who only have enough money for AKs, or sorry, for M4s. No op will be included in this round. A couple of Falmus buys on Stewie and Twist, and you have to prioritize your grenades. CT side Inferno. T side you can get away with a few less, but it's just a very nade intensive map, generally speaking. So how will some of that utility usage come out? Well, Naf will empty his kit into Banana. They won't get any damage off of this. BMAS takes a little bit, but for the most part, mousesports are still quite intact. And look at Kerrigan going for an entry. Again, his ability to find these kills is absolutely extraordinary, and he's doing it now versus Liquid. He did it yesterday versus Cloud9. That was amazing enough.
Did it 2 days ago versus Heroic. That was fantastic.
The amount of talent that he's taking down basically as the entry, it cannot be understated.
He just throws himself at them, and like a properly cooked noodle, he sticks it.
El Dante?
Yeah.
El Extremely Dante.
El Dante's Inferno going well for mousesports. Rops rounding the corner of Arch. Twists is in the corner, and that's a kill for him. So now an exit route has at least been secured for Team Liquid. 5 rounds to 1. Because Kerrigan, you know, if his individual level wasn't as high as it currently is, and this is a recent development, if it wasn't as high, he would still at least be able to gain information, soften players up, and prime his teammates, right? This is why we look to guys like Robs who can hard deliver. But when it works well and he takes players with him, dude, it's a whole other beast to try and stop mousesports because he is aggressive, he is consistent, and as of late, he is on point.
And I swear, he would even, if let's say he peeks B in that situation and he dies. He does like 50 damage and dies. He's setting up BMS to trade that kill. BMS will get the kill as well.
Yep.
And that still leaves Liquid in an awkward spot. It was so early into the round for the T's to be up that far, and Liquid tried to throw grenades down B, but they didn't have any other pressure. They didn't put in place the plan to regress top banana fast enough. And here, now they're peeking over the half wall, but they don't think Kerrigan is this close. Look at this. He's getting so much progress off, and Liquid are getting caught off guard once again. They'll cross out and over. Stewie will peek out and deal with him. And Stewie's now low, but at least they get this kill on Kerrigan.
Yeah, Kerrigan's like that parent who tries to help his children do the school project, but once he's already kind of like a couple of steps in, just does the whole damn thing.
Right, he wants the grade 2.
Yeah, that's what he's doing when he's getting kills on these attempts. This is a round where it doesn't go too great. Teacher calls him out. Now let's see what the students can offer us. mousesports, all 4 players clumped up. Oh, that is nice.
That's about as good as that gets. Chris J was magnetized to it as well. Quad Molly coming out. Full execute. Let's see how they deal with it. Grim's going to hop on over to force Orange, just wait for a flash. He'll eat one in response, but he does get into a very strong spot now. However, traded out.
Yep, BMAS kills him. Stewie falls back away through the smoke, and Nafly tries to pound some rounds through it. And everybody else for mousesports still standing. So we've got a man advantage for Liquid, and they've got 2 players on the banana control. Make that a 2-man advantage, because Stewie steals one through the smoke. You've got Rops over on the little pit, and BMAS now forced into the open, but he takes a quick headshot. And Elige, well, he'll seal the deal. 3 alive for Liquid, their 2nd round on the board.
Oh, that's nicely done. Okay, this is a lot better. First of all, they deal with Kerrigan. They just win that duel, even though Stewie only has a Falmus to fall back on. He made tons of space there, but after they dealt with Kerrigan, they did some damage, some unconfirmed damage with the HE on Chris J. That makes things easier for them as the round progresses. They get a kill through the smoke on first Oranges. That is part of the game on Inferno. You have to get damage through the smoke, and then it makes the retake so much easier, right? The worst thing you can do is not apply pressure on this map, and the best thing you can do is what Liquid did following that first kill. Keep it going.
Smoke to the side. Stewie gets from beyond the grave.
He was, I think Grim was blind maybe. I don't know. He stood in there for about all of the damage basically. This will lead mousesports up mid. Scary situation. This is such a big call out, right? So when a team does 3 down banana, oh, Snap's not even gonna know about this now. He thinks he's got here early enough. Look how quickly they've walked through.
Nice
I wouldn't
timing.
be. No one's watching the flank in this spot because Nafly just went and cleared out mid. Yeah,
Look at that.
That's free.
Chris J plucks Twists off of the balcony. Naf now realizes the error of his ways, but maybe he can recover this on his own. He drops the bomb carrier, who is looking to join them.
Oh my!
And well, Naf will let Rops join his 2 dead teammates.
Holy
hell
hell.
of a no-scope. And Chris J, now we're going to get a little bit of combat opping. 2 snipers in the apps. Chris flicks, hits the shot, but Nafly takes the kill. He's on to 3 now. A total recovery from Nafly, but Frozen, who has been so good as of late, is down to 46 health. 40 seconds, and he still doesn't have that bomb.
They're both spotted. He could actually recover this bomb, and he's looking for a lurk. This is an interesting spot because there is the opportunity to go back to B. And I wonder, it looks like, oh no, he's going to go for the peek in the window. Okay, Stewie will take him down, holding on to this very important angle. And that is a round 1 because of Naf. What a huge individual effort by him. This is a round where they get destroyed. They lose their pit player. The whole setup gets pantsed basically as soon as Twist dies on top of the balcony. And Nafly, the only player to push mid, sits in his spot, catches the bomb coming in late, and mousesports don't read that part of it, that he had pushed eventually.
And he survives the leg shot from Chris J.
The no-scope in a halls, man. Like,
oh.
Yeah, and he doesn't shoot Chris. That was so
right?
sick.
Goes for the repeat. But Chris J, he's going to start off this round with a little bit of success. Kobe Grim getting his revenge. Revenge. As
a singe of revenge. Say it in French.
He's got him. He's got him, Mohan. Blown away from behind the logs. You can see mousesports keeping an eye up top Banana, thinking maybe somebody else comes over here. How quick do they want to transition into the plausible B hit?
Yeah, it's always plausible as long as you've got top Banana control. They've got tons of nades to work with, but there are also smokes here. Grim and... Okay, Grim will toss his out preemptively. They're going to flat water. Actually going to come all the way through it. Look at mousesports go, making so much progress.
Grim's going to get the kill, but it's a one and done. Frozen clears him. Now Elige, back sight, looking to deliver. Gets Rops first. Peeks out into Kerrigan, shaves off health, and will take it. It's Frozen with another attempt in the 1v3. He's got the bomb. Twist has a smoke, double flash and a frag on Naf. No utility. Frozen comes off of that plant, and now he's going to go for the reload. He's thinking maybe somebody peeks him from the CT side, but that is not the case. Both players back here, and he taps into the feet of Naf. Sees both CTs. However, he takes neither of the final two. It is Team Liquid, 4 rounds, only 1 away now.
Elige is an EMT. When he comes to rotate over to Banana, he seems to solve all their problems. Like, the other day we watched them play, and it felt like the only rounds that they won on CT side were when Elige rotated over. It really makes you wonder if he could be a better permanent B player than the situation they have going on right now. Because again, it's a lot of game plans focused on bullying them for not playing this site as well as they could.
Now we find mousesports on a tempered purchase. Not everything they'd hoped for, but definitely still good enough to win a round away. We've seen it already. BMAS 9 rounds deep, still sitting above 100 ADR. Naf back in library, pulls out a grenade at an awful time, but will still recover the moment with a kill into BMAS. But he knows somebody's compromised the arch. That's Chris J. And he's not alone. Frozen. Closer towards the A site than the CT spawn. Drive by, and now suddenly Chris J has his hands on the coveted op.
Wow. He's 10-4. Shooting hot today.
Stewie right outside the doorway.
Watch him clear. Oh my god, he looks like he's going to clear this. Oh, okay. The crosshair placement's too good from Stewie. And Grim will eventually find his footing here. And of course, the next one looks laser sharp.
Eagle damage versus Stewie, but Frozen's not going to find anything in that clutch attempt either. He was very ill-equipped. And Team Liquid, nice to see it. We're all tied up at 5.
They come back into this interesting situation. Well, BMAS, playing well is not a surprise. Rops, Frozen, Kerrigan not contributing quite as much, but Chris J, he had kind of a weird situation where he played bad on the first map. What's going on?
Nobody has a higher ADR in 2020 than Grim with 86.7, and he joins Ziwu in second for kills per round.
And he's played a lot of Tier 1 teams at this point now.
And lost some games.
Yeah.
They've lost maps.
Yeah.
And his stats are still that fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, I say a lot. They played Furia, so over when they were on MI, they played versus MIBR, which I don't know if they would consider Tier 1 at the time. But yeah, he's definitely played a lot of hard matches and top frag, win or lose.
Grim is the real deal.
He really is.
Smoke grenades on Banana to both directions. Stewie decides to pierce through the smoke, trying to find a little bit of vision. They've done a good job of pushing mousesports away from Banana early, and that's going to afford them a Stewie 2K rotate over to A.
Yeah, this is nice. They fight for it. They hold their ground. They stay posted. Execute will not. Well, the execute will be obvious here as they start to wrap over, but we'll see if they can get through. Grim's going to flash himself through this position. Stewie with a 2K spray down. Chris J trades him out 3-on-3, but Elige, he stands firm here at Moto.
Twist comes out of pit, 2 kills back the way of mousesports. That is absolutely what they needed. We had such a quick clash on Arch side with Stewie going through the smoke, Chris J able to punish him. I saw blind frags on that kill feed to both teams, and then suddenly we see Twists come out of his pit position, looks to take a gunfight, and Launders, whether he realized it or not, he just gave himself over.
Yeah, it does come down to these very slim margins on these duels, but they win the fights and they get into positions to have these duels. So that's another thing. I think one thing mousesports are showing us at the moment is that they're forcing the CTs to make decisions faster and faster every single round. Sometimes they're going into B, they're changing their timings. Every time Liquid go ahead and are successful at taking banana control or get it early or go for the 3B setup, there's always mousesports there trying to exploit that fact. Either walk through Arch, the full-on Arch hit right here. So even when Liquid get the information and walk back, they're already halfway through the execute, which means that that rotation is not as meaningful. Now that being said, Stewie, he gets 2 kills. He's the guy who runs through the CT smoke and gets 2 kills. But Grim dies because he didn't expect him to be so close. And then the other 2 players on the site, I believe Twist and Elige, both go down without a kill each.
Double sniper setup between Stewie, 2K, and Naf. This is all the money Liquid have to work with, so either we're tied back up at 6 or mousesports going to pull ahead again. Cheeky boost. Ooh. Misses the shot. Takes a second one as well. Now he's down to 81 HP, Stewie. Twist is feeling the pressure here on short alongside Naf. They both fall back somewhat. And don't forget, they also have a Elige already on Arch. 3 players out of the gate for Liquid on A.
Let's see what Liquid think of this. Okay, they're sitting behind an Arch smoke, and eventually that will wear off and they'll get eyes down mid. But look how mousesports, they clearly are always executing so quickly. Look, they just immediately run into it. Don't waste any more time. No rotations come in. Grim, he doesn't get spotted, but he gets a couple of shots off. That could be a key spot to lose.
Yeah, he falls down, throws the Molotov at the feet of the pit, and they're just going to circumvent that by going through the smokes because now they know there's nobody on that wall. Frozen finds a Elige, big scalp to take down. Before anybody can even see through these smokes, we've got a frag the way of mousesports and an awkward retake considering the 2-op setup. Frag grenade, double flash. That's what they have to work with in terms of utility. Single kit on Naf. Grim, he's going to be the first point of contact. BMAS already holding him in. And now suddenly Stu K just wants to walk away. He's out.
That was actually a pretty sick post plant. They put pressure on them to try to molly out Emo, but they still could not molly out the front of Emo, where the construction players were trying to wrap into, forced them to duel in that spot, and did not play the same post plant that they did that previous round, where they died getting spammed through on oranges, getting mollied out on quad. This is a great round for mousesports. Again, pushing forward this idea that if Liquid, yes, they're rotating or maybe they're getting info, they take that one step further and force them to make even faster decisions, that they're never there in time. They're not afraid to go through these smokes. I think that's something that Liquid need to pay attention to because there's a few times now where they would have had the opportunity to multi-frag players running through a smoke.
See if they can stop the bleeding. Team Liquid were on the comeback in this first half, but if they're not careful, mousesports are about to secure themselves a guaranteed lead at the end of the first 15. And they could go even further than 8. Flashbang's a bit of a warning, or maybe more of a welcoming. If they go for these peaks towards B, it's Stewie in position with the op, but you know, as I say that, he falls away. mousesports content to take all of middle, the base of banana, and hang out in the apartments at the same time.
Oh, that's Twist done. Spam down in the halls. It looked like trying to walk up or maybe hug in the corner. I'm not exactly sure. Stu gets hurt on his way. Oh no, the leg's not quite enough. Kerrigan will eventually finish him off. There he is, Kerrigan again. He's like Freddy Krueger. Except that's not a nightmare, it's real life.
Grim tries to find a little bit of an angle here. Ooh, Nav tries that same tough shot. Oh! And he finds it on the other side, but Robs dunks the nade down on him. And now Kerrigan, he's chasing Grim after Grim played around with the banana control. Grim's actually going to get a chance to push Kerrigan into the corner. He's down now. Grim's MP9 making a bit of a difference. Elige, however, has been shaved to 15 HP. And this is a 2v2 with mousesports in the post plant.
And they are a hard team to call against. This is the post plant, but this would be a hard one to lose. Let's see if they can. Someone as careful as Robs, you'd think not. But yeah, with them going towards lane as well, this is a pretty big position for Robs. No one coming out of the halls. Molly to land at their feet. Are they thinking about canceling at this point? It looks like yes, they'll actually do it. This is a round where, again, Kerrigan, man, he has 4 kills, but he has some of the most impact on this T side. Whether he wins his duel or not, he forces one of the 2 remaining players to tell them where he is. And then as soon as that happens, they just pick a site. If he sees 2 on B, they go A. If he sees 1 on B, they still go A because it's versus 1. But they know it's versus 1. That's what the key information is. And that's why Kerrigan has just been so crucial each and every step of the way.
I can't believe he only has 4 kills. I didn't realize it was still that low when you pointed it out. Just because you see him hitting the impact. You see him gathering the info. I thought for sure he'd be at like 8.
Like his Danish art called Dart.
Ooh, but, I mean, Chris J just asking for it with that one. Tapping him to the apartment. Elige, one of the 2 rifle players for Team Liquid. Why wouldn't he take a risk if he at least has that information? Yes, somebody could have been keeping him pinned in, but not the case. Just finds Chris J in La La Land. Smoke to the front of the B site. Naf just teasing the side of this. Eats a flashbang, as does Stewie. They are going to regain their vision fast enough. Elige is the 3rd party over on this side of the map, and well, his AK's delivered a second. He takes tons of damage through the smoke and chases them away, scatters them back from B towards mid. 45 seconds still left.
Yeah, they actually go for the hawk cancel here. Robs, it looked like he was going to lead the charge, but instead we'll have them turn back, and the CT's reset. They're scared because mousesports have changed their mind more than once. This does leave an opening now for mousesports. Elige is very low here inside of B. He's spotted in CT spawn. They're still focused on the other player. Naf misses his first shot.
But Naf will land the second. Gets peeked from the top of orange. Now looking for that one, but Elige still just laying down the damage. BMAS able to catch him, and Naf's already down to 40 HP. A potential clutch for BMAS was way too outnumbered to manage, and that op of Naf will connect for another. Team Liquid, they could finish this half only 1 round away.
That wouldn't be bad at all for a CT side, especially considering what we've seen from them. It feels like mousesports have just been incredibly frustrating to try to call against, and just when Liquid are starting to fix things, they're getting a specific brand of Counter-Strike that they probably were not ready for. So I think to get 6 rounds is actually quite decent, and it just comes down to their T side, which of course is a question of its own.
Opper's sussing out the situation. Who gets the shot? It's Naf versus Chris J. Who do you think's more patient?
Naf has nowhere to go. Time moves slow in Naf's mind. He lives within the matrix. Nothing fades. Oh my god.
That's a headshot.
That's a warning headshot. They only took out one of his eyeballs.
It's just hanging out of the socket. Somebody gonna fix this? Elige kills Frozen in the meantime. Nafly still has not moved.
He doesn't have any other plans today. The only thing he's going to do is just sit there for the whole round.
Why did I already know the answer when I asked you that question? Of course, Naf's just going to sit there.
You want to win a boring contest? Nothing can bore me, you fool.
Rob's just sticking the barrel at the door frame. Doesn't have the bomb. Doesn't have any real way to get out here. And he's got Twist down beneath him. So there you go. Team Liquid finishing this first half with a 7th round. They trail by 1. Can they take it on the T side?
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down.
They hung on and let's
Let's go again. Okay, run the intro.
Coming in. They hung on as mousesports posted some score on that T side, but it is the mouse map pick. Dude, this is
You
hot
want to
today.
go? Burn, go for it.
Welcome back to the second half. It's 8-7.
Yeah, let's keep it simple. I like that. Can never fail. Yes. Well, he had quite a travel day. We are still here, okay, pounding monsters, energized, excited for this match.
That's the problem.
But, of course, you know, just gotta...
Yeah,
no worries. The show begins now. They haven't done anything special just yet. Kerrigan here, Incendiary and Flashbang. Chris J with the utility. The responsible players of the crew. You wouldn't trust anyone else with the utility. The execute is coming. Frozen, will you peek? Oh, he's just looking for this off angle. And Chris J is playing back. They're looking for the retake. No nades come out here. Chris J holds on to his smoke. Probably for a banana. Kerrigan gonna pick between Emo and Quad with his Incendiary, and then flash and go. That's it.
You make it sound so simple.
That's it.
See what they can do.
And Liquid know what's going, so that big time counter utility here.
Perfect. That flashbang's perfect. It at least blinds two of them. And Stewie and a lead.
Give him the ace. I
Look
don't care.
at that.
For all of those flash assists, that's an absolutely perfectly timed flashbang. A single flashbang counters every bit of utility from the other team. Just waited for the timing. This is the problem with trying to rely on retakes. Without making it seem like you're constantly trying to retake, they cut noise completely and Elige.
He had his name on every single one of those kills.
He deserves to have such a big smile. You can see all 100 of his teeth after that one. That was perfect.
Do you know how many teeth a shark has?
Not as many as Elige, I'll tell you that much.
That was my punchline. Next time, just say, I don't know.
We're one of the same. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, true.
Spend too much time together.
Yeah, it's the issue.
I need a break. It's not you, it's me.
This is like Liquid playing Furia every weekend.
Right?
They just know each other too well.
Yeah, that record now 10-1 after the most recent loss for Liquid. Flashbang again, good. Chris J rattles one off. Rops is getting curious.
A curious mouse. Oh! With an opportunity, but Twist is sharp. Very sharp. As he was on the pistol.
Group it up in Banana, gonna hit this B site. Frozen in the back corner. As Kerrigan on the oranges with the ump. Falls off of it into the flames of Nafly. 2 kills from the Molotovs. That's a hell of a way to open up sight.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Chris J, nice turnaround.
That B-hop train just made it look so stylish. Got a little velocity, went straight, no strafing. Boing, boing, turn around.
Boing,
Pivot
boing,
flick.
bonk.
That was cool. I like that.
9th round for Team Liquid. What do you know? They've got a lead.
He's got a big smile too.
Grim?
Grim's
Yeah.
got kind of a smaller. He's got a smaller smile. It's like a charming, sharp smile. But I'm talking about Chris J. Chris J's got like a big Elige smile.
Eliges.
Great smiles.
Grim is always smiling.
He is always smiling though.
He's probably dude,
even when they're losing.
This is his dream. It's actually his dream to come to Europe and play Counter-Strike. This is his first stint on European soil
come into
playing
Liquid.
CS.
I mean, yeah.
And to come into Liquid and to make it happen when so many other players are kind of, departing from the game and NA's kind of like, falling a little bit, taking a stumble. This guy.
And now he's just carrying them.
Yeah, right.
He's carrying his idols. It's great. All right. What can you do here, mousesports? Pistols to work with. Scout shot goes in. It doesn't. What? Doesn't go in. Anything. Just goes past. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Stewie loses a grip on the nade.
Of course, looking down with a jump, so it goes farther. I think some people don't know that.
Really put some velocity on those bad boys. Chris J's already so close to death. 12 health, taken down to 11. Frozen's USP, gonna be given a bit of a target. Leash is looking to rack up some money with this here ump. Run through the smoke, I dare you. Obviously, Chris J has to be so safe because this scout will die the moment he gets hit by another bullet. Elise chases down Frozen, clears all the corners in this B site. Team Liquid very confident in their ability to close out this 10th round. They're going to have still 3 SMGs in the next one.
Even though all these stats we talk about their CT side and stuff, I feel like on Inferno, their CT side is actually really poor, and I kind of am more looking forward to their T side. But I don't know what to expect. I don't know how good it's gotten. So we'll see if Liquid can bring some cool ideas and cohesion to their T side. It's not an easy one, but at the same time, if you send someone like a Liege, and at one point in time, like Liquid had an incredible Inferno. Everything's just slightly different now. But you could, at one point in time, send a Liege to the top of Banana by himself with no other strategy in mind. No overarching theme for the round. No mid-control to begin with. Just send him to the top of Banana, and he could find 2 kills. And then that is the round. And then you multiply that by every player that could do something like that on the team. You're like, well, they could actually individually win a T side on Inferno with their scrappiness alone and their aim. I mean, quite like mousesports' game plan with Kerrigan, except it's 5 players who have more individual skill than Kerrigan. I mean, right now, Kerrigan's probably playing better than Stewie, to be fair. I know we're looking at a 4-14 Kerrigan, but if you missed the first half, you just have to see it for yourself. The 4 kills he got were extraordinary. They actually were. Most of the other times, he was just a paparazzi. He was just running out to get a photo, even if it cost him his life, to go and sell that information to TMZ, aka the rest of the team.
Gotta do it for the gram. Leash, deep grenades on Banana. Oh, that is some killer utility.
Oh,
and
there's more.
Frozen
Oh, they're
dunks
teaching him
one.
about grenades.
Back to the drawing board. They took a pause for that.
Yeah, this is... So, we flash back to the first half. We had a round similar to this where mousesports run up. They don't get punished nearly as hard. It just doesn't stop either. It is Dunkirk on Banana.
Crochet keeping this scout scoped in.
And look, they're so focused down in mid, they can even rotate over. Liquid are just continuing forward with it.
Scout damage versus Grim. He's on 24 HP. Frozen also in the back of this site. Stewie 2K dies. Grim tries to close that distance. Now he has no clue where he's at. But in fact, he's crossed behind them. And Frozen's right on the other side of it. Imagine a world where he sprays through and takes 2. It could still be Naf for the clutch. A 1 versus 3, and he gets his hands on the M4, crossing back over towards Coffin. A 1 versus 1, and he takes the head off Rops. It's Naf with 3 kills. I'm talking 16 and 6 with 30 seconds. This could be sick. But BMAS, well, he's creeping, and he's been seen. Nafly now knowing where his opponent is, but how to take him down, that's the question.
There's no free plant. He might get BMAS to fight early, though. We'll see. He's just watching, waiting. He's trying not to commit. This is really smart from BMAS. Such a difficult position for Nafly. He's got to go for the plant, and he doesn't have time to fake at this point. He's going to have to stick it, and he'll finally peek out. 5 seconds left. He's off of it, and BMAS calls him out. What a play by BMAS. That's amazing.
Wow, doesn't skip a beat, doesn't go for the peek. Naf was hoping BMAS would come around a corner, and look at that
let him have the
smile.
He let him have the plant. That is a huge read, and that's the kind of play I feel like BMAS was not confident enough to make. Even though he had the skill to do it, it felt like in the past few months, this were the kinds of moments where it feels like he might make a mistake or overestimate his opponent. But here, he really played him like they were equals. You love to see that. And Nafly, I mean, I love the play at the end. It's a Hail Mary by him, but damn, did he get red. A nice attempt in the clutch. No easy feat to win a 50-50 like that versus Robs.
Oh, hit the headshot.
Yikes.
Come on, Twist. Let's see it again. Good grenade.
Yeah,
Third of Grim gone.
2/3 of Grim's probably a kill or two still.
Sure.
Okay, they come up quick. I mean, it's an interesting spot. This is a position where mousesports in the first half would have just moved into an execute, found this timing. Liquid might be a bit more patient about it. Let's see. 2-3 situation. Smoke's coming up on A. That arch now will be spotted. But there's a small fake. However, the CT's in front of it.
Smoke to block him off. Fire to follow up. 20 seconds. I mean, Team Liquid, they're going to have to just try and run through this. And Grim, well, he seems content to try his damnedest. Frozen. Oh my god, everybody dies. And there's not a single kill here for mousesports.
I want to say they got a bit fortunate there. Actually, let's credit one flash. The late flash when I believe Kerrigan moves into pool, and he's sitting there in the corner and eats one extra flash, displaces his aim just that much more, and then Frozen cannot trade as well. I think there was a late continuation flash that was absolutely key there for Team Liquid. I think we'd have to rely on a replay to see for the flash assist maybe, but it definitely looked like mousesports were really well prepared for that moment because they had a player on the inside of the smoke at Arch to peek into mid for information, and plus the players who were on B were throwing down their utility properly, late molly, late smoke, forced Liquid to run through it, played in front of the smoke exactly what you should do. That was quite a curious round.
Watch it back.
So this is the one. I mean, Grim has line of sight. Chris, I don't know if he just looked away, but there's no flash assist there. It's Lige who gets the one flash assist on Frozen. And I feel like there should have been one there on the player in pool as well.
mousesports now worse for wear. Team Liquid. Kind of staring a 12th round in the face, but I like this. Little off angle from Frozen. Stewie 2K, however, going to open up shop towards mid. Kerrigan, CZ sprays.
Immediately goes to pick up the gun. He will scavenge it. But of course, as we can see, B is the scarier site to hit from Team Liquid. Unfortunately, it is really hard to get this information sometimes. So there's not a lot of incentive for mousesports to move, and Liquid have to play the guessing game. It looks like they're reading this correctly. Kerrigan's alone. He's got the M4. But the odds that he gets more than one, he'd have to go Supernova here. Such low HP.
This is one piece of utility thrown down. Does actually stave off 3 players from Liquid, but they wait the fire out. Now they're going to run in. They line up, in fact, but Naf trades it. And there's nobody else here for mousesports, unfortunately, for them. So Team Liquid will find their plant, and Rob's going to hang on to that M4.
That's a nice move. Are they actually running in for this? That's an interesting spot because they stayed so long.
They do have Kid.
Yeah. Or they're just getting the guns here at top mid. That's pretty prudent. They'll take those over into the next round and try again. But a nice, confident read here from Team Liquid, not fearing the Molotov that lands at their feet when they're trying to wrap Moto. mousesports being patient, just gamble stacking. Doesn't pay off, but again, they save one M4. They find an AK to save as well. And we'll see now. Things start to get a bit more interesting. I don't think that this will be the last time mousesports win a round. They definitely have shown some good stuff, even on CT side so far already.
But I do want to touch on it because it is an anomaly. 4-13, Robs.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I didn't even notice that. Oh, my God. I was just thinking, he got out dueled by Naf in that previous round. He lost that duel to Stewie. And I was like, huh, that's like uncharacteristic. Like, that's how good Rops is. Any peak like that, you're like, you always give him the edge. BMS has just 13% of the amount of career kills that Rops has. Wow. Just it goes to show you how little BMS has played in comparison. Rops used to have the world record in long jump in 1.6, which is the most competitive thing you can do in KZ. And he had the world record. And I mean, some KZ players are incredibly talented at Counter-Strike in like competitive game modes as well.
Yeah.
But that's something pretty sick that people don't know.
I thought this was going to be one of those stories of like, you know, a player who used to be an athlete,
right,
and like had an injury and had
pretty
to
much
stop.
the same thing.
When you're telling me he was like, he's a world record long jump, when he was like, what, 13? But
yeah, but
you're talking about video games.
Yeah.
You're talking about real sports.
Thank you.
Chris J's going to get aggressive here. Wants to interrupt what was the B setup. They just got back around the corner as Chris J comes peeking in. And then Liquid throw a frag grenade in the off chance somebody was coming.
Well, they're reading this incorrectly. I think I think Chris J thinks they heard him, but that wasn't the case. And now there's 3 people on B, even though Liquid did just leave. They didn't respond to that at all.
Oh!
Grim's still here.
Great first headshot. Chris J's down. We'll have to see if Frozen re-rotates over to the A site. We'll have to see if Liquid decide to double back off of that one pickup. Regardless of where they go, they could play the 5 versus 2 to their advantage. The longer they milk this A split, the closer Frozen gets back to the action. Double smoke here on Arch. Make that a quadruple smoke now. As the first set fades, the second pops. That's great damage from the utility. Look at Stewie and Naf down at the hands of BMAS. He is inside of the site, locking it down. Rops from the small pit. He's got himself another. This is looking fantastic for mousesports. Twist, all that's left over in the 1 versus 3. And he has 6 seconds to spare. He needs that plant now, and he can't have it. mousesports, take this back.
Okay, they lock it up. That's a bit of a better round there from Rops. And you got to appreciate the confidence, right? Because you're not having a great game, but then you're still going for long-range taps. You know, very easily in games like this, sometimes you fall back into a pattern of crouch spraying, taking shots whenever you can, but Rops, he holds his nerve. He goes for the patient 1 taps, hits it on a second try, turns it into another very quick and clinical kill, denying the refrag, allowing mousesports back into the game.
That's a big one handed over. They'd gotten their opening kill. Numbers advantage on the A site. They tried to force their way through that smoke grenade as it faded. Chris J on the other side of the fire. Well, it's traded back by Grim, but at what cost? He has 11 HP left over. Kerrigan goes peeking around it. Frag grenade could kill him. Yup, he's done. Man advantage established to mousesports. Their utility in these last 2 rounds has been fantastic, but here comes that execute. 2 smokes into this for Liquid. They try to throw the Molotov to the back of the site, but it's already been extinguished. Kerrigan, he's going to drop to 41. A molly lands on his feet as Naf shoots through smoke to take him, and we are back into the even ground here. Frozen doesn't know exactly what's going on because he's seen nothing. He's going to go ahead and extend beyond that small pillar, trades back and forth. It's BMAS once more with heavy impact, and Naf in the clutch yet again.
It's kind of this ring around the rosy, BMAS and Naf. But BMAS, he'll hit tab. He'll know who he's going up against. He's got a player to tether off of. BMAS in an unanticipatable position. He'll get spammed down. This is strange. I mean, Nafla could potentially plant. It depends if BMAS will just throw himself at this or not. He's making their long rotation around. Okay, we're on for the clutch. If he holds this angle properly, there's a chance he gets 1. He'll grab the first, and oh my God, almost.
So close.
Almost.
Team Ace coming out of mousesports. Their 11th round took a concentrated effort from every single player. And Rops, yeah, may have questioned his individual stats just a couple rounds ago, but he's already starting to deliver.
Yeah, it's so good that you brought that up, and then suddenly he starts shooting hot because after these past couple of rounds, you think he's having a great game, but again, he was at 4 kills, which is just an anomaly of a performance for Rops in a negative way. So weird to see. Well, they come within 1 now. Things start to, the Scovilles start to go up a bit. Oh, and Kerrigan, he'll make it even spicier. He's got to push down mid with the help of the smoke. BMAS will help him. And everybody's joining in the fun. That's actually Rops to take the attention away just so Kerrigan can get another. And look at the litany of pushes coming down both mid and banana.
Dude, it is an all-out assault, a fight from 4 fronts. Naf tasked to clutch yet again. And I mean, dude, he is 21-9.
Damn.
He is trying every single round to keep his team in this.
No doubt, having a fantastic map. And of course, one of the most clutch players on Liquid.
Frozen's low over on this B side alongside Kerrigan, who has 2 kills in this one already. And then you've got Rops, of course, generally on his own. A solo hold from top mid. Just ensuring that Nafly can't fall back. So as long as Rops holds the angle that he currently is, well, these 2 other B players should be on absolute high alert. Flashbang thrown, goes deep, gets the first in CT, but Frozen's on that closer corner, and he just comes out towards the end. Nafly was looking towards the bomb site, and mousesports closed that one. An assault down middle from Kerrigan to take away Grim, and then this turnaround as well for his second frag. This is what we're talking about when we mention Kerrigan just taking chances. Kerrigan making ballsy moves, and that's a prime example of it paying off for him and mousesports. We are tied at 12 with Team Liquid absolutely strapped for cash.
He is the paper boy. He's always got the news. And look who's out in front. Kerrigan sets him up with a flash. It's Rops. And everybody else is going down as well. Basically just pistols here for Team Liquid. But can they even get some damage here? It would matter. It looks like that might not be possible.
Oh!
Okay.
Nice!
The new sheriff in town.
2K. Couple of deagles. Unfortunately for Liquid, it comes at a moment where it's not going to be nearly enough. They're going to go ahead and take their second pause of this first map.
Yeah. What do we talk about here? The trouble is that mousesports are once again showing us why they picked Inferno, right? In the first half, they had a really cool approach to the rounds and only allowed Liquid to get, I think, the 7 rounds in total. Headhunter, Twist has 11 kills, 11 headshots. He has a 67.4 headshot percentage for the whole year.
I believe Twist is actually the player who's right behind Scream for career headshot percentage.
Unreal, over 2/3. Now, a lot of players aim for the crouch peak these days. You get guaranteed damage, hit him in the head if they crouch. But Twist, his crosshair placement is always quite high. I mean, he's just great at adjusting in the first place as well, and it's just such amazing reactions. He can handle it, but yeah, when he's crispy, he's crispy.
All right, round 26. We got a buyback up each side. mousesports going to take a little bit of early damage here as they peek down banana. Not looking to give it away for free. Rops gets aggressive in the apartment. Can he? No. Twists. What do you know?
One more headshot.
A 12th.
That's actually such an epic duel. Rops versus Twist in the apartments. They're 2 terrifying people to be going up against each other. Grim, nice crosshair placement and angle here on Kerrigan. He'll punish that push. And this might change Liquid's intentions. They were looking towards A. They're still pressed up here. Alish is trying to make one more punish. And oh my god, just as he gets away, that is so awkward. Chris drops the shot. I want to say luckily for Alish because it felt like he was holding on to that forever. But either way, it looks like they'll turn this now into a B-side exec, knowing that Chris is a far rotation away as the main threat of the round. And mousesports, once again, will not make a rotation. Liquid have wisely mostly just avoided the problem instead of overthinking it and going back to the same side, assuming big rotations would come in, and that's worked out quite well for them.
This will be their 13th round, keeping things as tight as possible. Tight game.
Yeah, once again, we have like a match for sure. It's not perfect from both sides. There are some mistakes being made, but it's been a very, very interesting game to watch for a multitude of reasons. Learning more about Liquid's T side, seeing how mousesports' game plan appears to have evolved and how Kerrigan has become such a focal point of every single round. To be honest, I mean, maybe he was a lot like this before and it didn't really notice. And we were talking about how that blast, that was the first time we casted
mousesports.
Like casted mousesports ever. It was funny because they kind of had a very, very rough start to the year. In a lot of the tournaments we were working at, they would be either eliminated in the beginning, or just play against the wrong opponents, or really underperform. But it feels like an absolute turning point in the closing couple of months here in 2020. There's one good thing here for mousesports is things are starting to look up. However, if they win this series, that would be Heroic, Cloud9, and Team Liquid potentially in the same week. Pretty unbelievable week for mousesports in terms of consistency.
That's an if, though.
That's an if, yeah.
13 rounds each. 2 CTs over towards Banana. Lots of utility fight going on over there. Drop stand nice and cool. Remains posted. 4 players for mousesports here on brackets. Smoke grenade forces Chris J forward. He's looking to shave one off, and he will find it. Now, he doesn't see anything else, and I think that's going to indicate that there should be more of a presence towards Banana. Considering Frozen doesn't have eyes, I see the justification for Chris J to move on over.
See, again, this is the thing. Liquid always running from the problem, moving over towards B, but Chris J is here to meet them on the other side as well. And look, he's going for the push-off as well. He'll hit the shot. Wicked flick into the head, but it leaves Frozen alone. They've still got a man advantage. Going 1 for 1 wouldn't be the worst situation in the world, but can he get that kill? It doesn't look like he will. Grim will outduel him. 3-on-3 situation.
Frag grenade off the backboard. Dunked.
Oh, 1 health.
And that's just nasty. So much utility damage makes it easy for Kerrigan to spray through with the A1S. Now, all of a sudden, all Liquid have to their control is the back of this bomb site. And, well, the utility is dwindling. We've got that 1 flash left on Grim. Naf trying to fight tooth and nail. He's going to get peeked by the CT player. Bullet goes whizzing by, drawn into the open. BMAS hits the headshot. mousesports find 14 first.
So well handled. Shout out to Chris J. Look at this play. Comes out mid, disrespects the arch smoke. As soon as Liquid want to just chill out and pretend they're taking mid. You can't even do that these days. Look at Chris running through the smoke, goes out so wide at mid. Elige is thinking, I'm at least tucked. I hear Chris running, but the Opper would never be this brave and go all the way out, exposing himself to the bottom of mid, T-steps, everything. But he does, and then immediately runs over to the other side, is part of the action, controls the round, influences everything, and even though Frozen dies without a kill on the B site, they still win on game plan alone. Big moves by Chris.
Flashbang over the top. Chris J fully blind.
He just waits.
Quick little flick into Stewie 2K makes it look so easy. Then he falls back. Twist going to challenge here on brackets control. He's got 2 players out to his right and another one over on Arch, so this is not where he wants to be. But if he goes balcony, now that's where I think he could take something away from mousesports. Especially if it combines nicely with a bit of a ruse here in boiler/mid twist, though he's not going to go towards balc at all. He is here with Naf and Elige, and they're going to contest it. Instantly dropped. Not even a sweat for Rops. Elige is going to answer with just the 1 kill. It's mousesports finding 15.
They've pretty much done it here. There's still going to be 1 more buy left, but this is just feeling like shades of yesterday, or mousesports late into it are just getting more and more clutch. The game plan is starting to become more and more effective. The reads are becoming stronger, and Rops is now coming into play. Of course, he recovers his scoreline a little bit. Started out with 4 kills, is on to 11. He's been playing A even though all the action has been towards B. Chris J in this fourth quarter has been something to talk about as well. These opening op picks. It's so insane how mousesports, it feels like it's a very few kills that are completely dictating the outcome of the match. Now, of course, this one isn't quite over. There's still a chance here for Team Liquid with this buy. But do they have the ideas to be able to win this? Look how flagrantly and happily mousesports go and peek down banana to try to get information. Can Liquid punish this?
Ooh, what a headshot from Stewie. What do they find off of the back of that? How do they follow through with this? It's the right round to get a man advantage. Kerrigan drops a bit of utility, then decides to rotate over to the A site. We do see Liquid trying to push 4 players up here. Again, man, they have not used balcony, but this round it wouldn't really compromise anybody on short because we've got Robs instead just on the cusp of pit. Kerrigan's going to take to the corner.
Are they?
They're leaving.
Oh, this is smart by Liquid. Oh my god, no, Chris actually gets a kill. This is going to confuse them a lot. 25 seconds. They're making a hard rotation. Late flash to the top of mid. Chris is going to get pushed back into the site. There's still an opportunity here for Liquid to win before anybody rotates. Chris is going to peek into this. He could be the hero.
Let's see. They're right on the other side of the smoke. He takes down a leash, fades back. Oh! And no scopes for the leg shot. Twist down to 15 HP, 7 seconds. Chris is gonna go down. It's Grim to take control, but with that bomb planted, 3 quick kills. mousesports take Inferno.
Oh my god, they actually win in this fashion, man. Okay, this is just all about Chris. Actually had a terrible Inferno yesterday, the day before, whatever it was, completely recovered, bounced back. It was Kerrigan in the first half, Chris in the second. Rob's recovering things. mousesports, there's something special here.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Players piecing it together. All the forces of mousesports really finding the form here today and coming together as a team, as a concentrated effort. We'll talk more about it after the break.
The series did not disappoint on our first map of Inferno. It was a close one, but in the end, Mouse managed to get themselves out of a bind and take back over from the clutches of Team Liquid. And to be honest, Liquid nearly did clutch it out multiple times, multiple duels on the B site, NAF versus BMAS, and Age did not outdo the young player from mousesports because BMAS, he seems like he's the king of Inferno now. That was quite the performance. But before we talk about him, I do want to talk a bit more about the Beast bomb site on Liquid CT side, because something I noticed you were mentioning in your cast, Launders, was you wanted to see a bit of a switch up. You were a bit concerned about that Grim, Stewie 2K duo. It didn't seem to be working out for them. And you said, Elige, I want to see him over there.
Well, yeah, so it seems like Elige will just show up. He's been making cameos in the B site in a few of their matches, and every time he shows up, they have success in the rounds. But it's usually like late into the half. Like he's like the forest firefighter, you know what I mean? Like he comes through and there's already danger. Like things are already on fire. But he comes through and he does save the day. And it feels like he's very good on these angles. He's good at the B aggression. He's more of an Ethan, where I think that's what they need. Feels like they're not comfortable fighting down Banana a lot. When Stewie gets in those positions, sometimes he'll lose duels. And just in general, you know, maybe you want your 2 kind of strongest aimers on Banana. It's a hard site to hold, just through and through. But so far, Grim and Stewie, they've got kind of like a bromance going on. On most sites, on most maps, are playing together. I think specifically Stewie's helping him learn how to play at this level versus these kinds of teams. So there's something that might not change there, but I thought that was an interesting thing.
Do you have any thoughts on the Liquid T side? Because we're not really sure what to expect. We saw some good performances from them yesterday on their T sides, but Inferno was a bit of a question mark.
I don't know about you, Connor, but I drew the similarity between this Mouse match today and this one versus Cloud9 yesterday, where it was such a tight game all the way up until the last few rounds. Yeah. But it felt like Mouse were the better team who were going to win and then did, even though it was by a narrow margin.
Yep, I think that once we got to the later portions, we started to watch Chris J kind of activate in some of those B plays, just constantly prodding and poking around Banana. And I mean, I think we see it late in that half where somebody's rotating 4 players back, Liquid drawing away from the A site because Robs is boosted up on wall. Robs is keeping them off of brackets. The numbers game from mousesports at the A site was too much for Liquid to handle. And then, yeah, they would sometimes get into B, but it would always cost them 1 or 2 players on the entry. I think that the T side of Liquid, remember when you asked, like, what is the issue? And I said it's the hesitation. We kind of saw that hesitation, that back and forth at times. It's not like they get that clean cut into the B site when they do fall back into it. They walk away from a little bit of ground and they lose players in the process. They find footing on a bomb site. When you have BMAS coming in with those clutches, it's just too much. They lose too much before they're in those pinnacle moments. And Nafly, how many rounds does he have to try to clutch?
And multiple times we saw them run out of time. We saw them run out of time on the A site as well. But in terms of the individuals here, Rops, I was thinking about the fact that, hey, he's not getting many kills on the CT side because he's your A anchor. He's the last person to rotate. Of course, BMAS is coming in, saving the day. And if he doesn't, then Rops is there to clean up for him. That worked exceedingly well for them. However, in the first half, I guess because of Liquid's rotations, when the bomb was on B and Rops is in that hard lurk position outside apps, he's just not there to pick, he's not being able to pick anyone off and get those numbers because no one's going past him.
Yeah, he had something like 4 kills out of the first half, and I didn't even notice until Connor mentioned it because you just assume Rops has probably got 15 kills each half every time. Then you looked over, it's like, huh, what's going on? And then I noticed he like lost a couple of duels that were very key, and I was like, huh, he doesn't feel like Rops at all. But then towards the end of the game, he starts to pick it up. He starts getting more and more key impact kills. And that was the story as Mouse as a whole. For some reason, when things get the most stressful and they're put in situations where other teams would get way more nervous, they seem to get more clutch.
Well, I would love to talk to you guys about Dust too, because now Chris is looking so comfortable in that primary AWPing role. We are probably going to have another Barnstormer. So instead of talking about it right now, we're going to throw to a break and just get to it.